Welcome back, everyone. It's Tuesday, so the doctor of technology, Jerry Friedman from Cold & Company, is with us.
Hey,
Happy
Justin.
Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day, Justin.
Well, we have a subject for you. Cloud computing. Now, for guys like me, cloud is like head in the clouds, right? Or, if you're my age, hey you, get off of my cloud, which said with a British accent would be, hey you, get off of my cloud. Song by the Rolling Stones.
Absolutely.
You ever hear of them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, all right. So cloud computing,
Right.
the rage, it's about everything. We know nothing.
Okay.
Cloud computing, what is it?
Well, you know, there seems to be a bit of confusion about the term. A lot of people use the term differently. I had one guy ask me if cloud computing meant that the stuff was up on satellites. So, you know, it ranges from a wide variety of perceptions. What even gets more confusing because different vendors will use the term cloud computing in different ways. You know, real purists might argue with the basic definition that we use at Cold & Company, but basically cloud computing is having your data and your applications on computers somewhere else.
Boy, that somewhere else always scares you, right? So let's, before we get into issues like reliability and security, the benefits of cloud computing.
Well, you know, a couple of the major benefits are you're transferring the responsibility and, you know, the effort of having your data backed up and secured to somebody else. So, you know, you're sending that off to your cloud provider. And another benefit is, especially for businesses that hire seasonal employees, you know, or startups, is you're shifting. Instead of buying software and having an upfront cost, you can shift that cost to a monthly pay-as-you-go model. So that can help your cash flow and limit your upfront costs.
Right, you were always talking about efficiencies, and obviously that would be one of them. But how would you know if your company is a good fit for it?
Well, you have to look at some of the applications that you're using. Web hosting is something that we're all familiar with. That's a great application for the cloud. It's off-site, you don't have to deal with it. Email as well. Both of those are good because they don't require what would be called a persistent internet connection.
Right, now you've said that persistent word before. That really means stuff that you need to have available to you at all times.
Right, you know,
to run your business.
Exactly. You know,
Right.
if you lose your internet connection briefly, you know, and you don't need that necessarily to act, you know, to keep your website up as long as your hosting provider has an internet connection. You know, your web, you know, email as well. Line of business software, databases, things that your business absolutely requires to run. You want maybe to keep those locally. That might not be a good fit for the cloud because you want that reliability. You want the full-time access to that data and those applications.
So in other words, if we're saying what to use a cloud for or what not to use a cloud for, you'd use it for things like email, stuff like that.
Yeah, email is a great application.
A great application, okay. And then the what you wouldn't use it for, anything that's critical to the minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour operation of your business.
You know, what we refer to as line of business
Got it.
operations.
Okay. Let's go right to the thing that comes to my mind immediately, reliability and security. Let's address each one, okay?
Okay.
Reliability.
Reliability. There's a holy grail in terms of, you know, computing these days in terms of reliability, which is called 5 nines, or 99.999% uptime.
You can't get closer than that?
That's pretty much as close as to get, which, you know, over 365 days a year translates to about 5 minutes of downtime a year.
Gotcha.
Some vendors only offer you 3 nines, 99.9.
Okay.
You know, and you say, you know, maybe you're splitting hairs, but over a course of a year, that's over 8.5 hours of downtime.
Yeah, right, okay.
So, you know, 5 minutes versus 8.5 hours, you know, that 8.5 hours could be a full business day.
So in your opinion then, the reliability, as you're stating it, the 5 nines or 3 nines, whatever, means that it's worth a gamble to store some of this data in a cloud to lighten the load that in your own business and also to be more efficient.
Exactly. And one of the things that you have to do when you're looking at the cloud is research what the vendors are offering, what the cloud providers are offering you, whether what SLA or service level agreement is.
Wow.
If there is downtime, what is their guarantee, and if it exceeds that guarantee, what kind of compensation are they offering you? And are there certain levels that you have to reach in order to get different levels of service agreements?
Gotcha, okay.
So those are things that you want to look at. Reliability. How redundant are their systems? If one node goes down, if you have a data center on the East Coast, if that goes down, is there another one someplace else that can pick up the load so you're not completely down? How often do they back up your data? Is it hourly, weekly? What happens if they go down and data's lost? All of those questions need to be answered to find out if cloud's a good fit for you.
Okay, gotcha. The biggest issue? Security.
Security is always going to be a concern, and frankly, some people are afraid to take their data off-site. We see that when we're talking about backup. They feel that they're losing control or don't want their data where they don't know where it is. So you need to ask questions. Is the data encrypted? How is the data handled? What's the security like at your provider's data centers? On the other hand, how many laptops have you personally lost with data on them?
Me? 5.
Okay,
I've lost 5 laptops.
So then you have to balance out. Am I better off in a encrypted, protected environment, or running the risk of losing a local device where the data isn't necessarily backed up?
Gotcha.
A lot of it boils down to what your personal tolerance is, what your business applications are. If you are fall under compliance regulations that require certain things.
Yes,
all of those
special
need
codings,
codings, or HIPAA, for instance,
Yes,
requires
sure.
backup that is offsite.
Yes.
So these are things that you really need to work with somebody who knows your business, who understands where you want to go and how you want to get there, and can work with you to help you make the right decisions.
Well, like you always say, your data is an asset. It's an asset to your business. So you constantly need to find efficient ways to use it,
right?
To protect it, and to make it available, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so, all right, topic for next week. Summer's coming.
Summer's coming. So, let's talk about some of the ways that you need to prepare your company, your data, people traveling. How are you going to keep this stuff secure? Thunderstorms, things like that. What happens in power outages. Sort of a summer preparation kit for your IT environment.
But Jerry, I just love it. You always come up with these topics, and they're timely, and they're things that we need to think about. Thanks again. Now look, questions, especially about the cloud, you can reach Jerry. Come to our website. See this interview again. Again, if you got questions for Jerry, go to looktvonline.com.